Essentially bombshell news right now. According to Jake Sherman and Punchbowl, we could see more explosive resignations early from House Republicans to the point where Mike Johnson loses the speaker's gavel before November. This would be a stunning turn of events, would make Democrats take over the House of Representatives even before November happens.
So it comes on the heels of brand new Fox News polls that reveal Americans are hurting financially. Only 25% saying they're currently satisfied with the U.S. economy.
And part of that is because of inflation. We also went through this big shutdown. More than 50% of Americans say that inflation is completely out of control.
Yep. So who's to blame? Our polling shows 46% of Americans think they've been hurt by President Trump's economic policies.
Here's the proof MAGA is turning on Trump.
MAGA hats are off. America First hats are on. Burn, baby, burn. And this is a great representation of what's left of MAGA.
Then you can f*** off, Trump. You're losing people quick. Throw them in there. Piece of shit. You sure as fuck aren't making America proud right now. And for the record, we stand with MTG and Massey.
His base is sick and tired of his lies. They're sick and tired of him not delivering on his promises. They're tired of him selling out our country.
Just being completely honest with you, we have had conversations, privately with Republicans who have said privately they don't like what the Trump administration is doing. They don't like the way Speaker Johnson is leading. That come to our side. We can make you a chair and you'll put us in the majority. No, but I'll tell you,
People are thinking about that?
they think about it. But the number one reason they won't do it, and they tell us this, is personal security. They said the second I do that, my life changes, the death threats come at me, and that, like, your spouse and your kids are saying, don't do that. I mean, that's the environment we're in right now. For crying out loud, the president of the United States is essentially calling for people to be hanged. He did that on social media just.
And yes, the MAGA movement took over the Republican Party. And the Republicans didn't do anything about it. The Congress impeached the Orange Buffoon twice. After January 6th, it was the call for he being immediately removed and took to jail like every other countries. South Korea, they went to almost the same, like the hidden January 6th. Brazil have the same problem with the president that they have. And even so, these two countries managed to send their presidents to jail. We couldn't do it. I don't know what happened in there. I don't know if it was Mary Garling fault. I don't know if it was was Biden. I don't know what happened there, but we couldn't do it. So now we are suffering the consequences. I told you the MAGA is gonna disperse. It's going to MAGA. We're gonna see the people of MAGA protesting on the streets, and the Republican Party is gonna be completely destroyed. And this is happening right in front of our eyes. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I know I cannot talk today. Mercury is retrograde. My throat chakra is not working. I don't know what the heck. Well, whatever, Stay with me, please. Until I figure it out, Mercury retrograde. That is just letting me speak. Okay, you guys. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you know that I told you that this is going to happen. MAGAs are going to be the ones on the street asking for his removal. And slowly but for sure it's happening. And I also told you the Republican Party is going to be almost completely destroyed. And this is just happening. So if you want more predictions from me, because I'm also a psychic and not only a political commentary, I try to keep the psychic out of this political commentary, but sometimes I just drop here and there. I draw some of my psychics ability. So don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to my channel, help us to support liberal media, subscribing to my channel and dropping a like, okay? And stay towards the end because this video is gonna be really interesting. The boat is going down in the ocean and the rats are running.
We've got some stunning breaking news in from Jake Sherman of Punchbowl News. He says that a senior House Republican has told him that more resignations are coming, that Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation was just the first of many. But that's not all. There could be enough resignations right now to flip the House before the midterms. Let me read you the statement from Sherman. And so here's the post from Jake Sherman. He says, a few other GOP members messaged us over the weekend saying that they too are considering retiring in the middle of their term. And here's one message from a senior House Republican, quote, this entire White House team has treated all members like garbage. And Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen. That's the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened. Not even the high profile, the regular rank and file random members are more upset than ever. Members know they are going into the minority after losing the midterm.
There is bombshell news coming out of Congress that more Republicans are set to resign by the end of the year, which could give the Democrats the majority before 2026. This is real. Here's the headline. Marjorie Taylor Greene's decision to walk away could only be the start of a deeper implosion inside the House GOP, reports the Daily Beast. They go on to say, furious House Republican warns more explosive resignations are coming. This is an absolute bombshell. And what's happening here is there are actual Republicans that want to govern, believe it or not. Yes, they've been cowardice, but they have the biggest coward on the planet in Moses Mike Grinder Johnson, who every single day gets in front of a camera and speaks for an audience of one. He has completely abdicated all of his power to Kanks, who is flailing, dementia, sucking up to Zoran Mamdani. Hey, yeah, call me a fascist. I don't care. The Republicans are in complete disarray. Jake Sherman elaborates on the mess. A few other GOP members messaged us over the weekend saying that they too are considering retiring in the middle of the term. Here's one particularly exercised senior House Republican. This is a quote. This entire White House team has treated all members like garbage, all. And Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen. That is the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened. They don't even allow little wins like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies. Not even the high profile, the regular rank and file random members are more upset than ever. Members know they are going into the minority after the midterms. More explosive early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel and they will lose the majority before this term is out. You guys, this is earth-shattering. MAGA is in shambles. We've been calling it. It started with the MAGA influencers. It started with the podcasters. You can see that you have the Russian assets within the administration cooperating and bending the knee to Putin, while Marco Rubio, who's a total piece of shit, calls senators and is like, hey, this is Russian propaganda on the Ukraine peace deal. There are so many people in Congress that cannot stand this president. They cannot stand Moses Mike Grinder Johnson, but that base is so vile and so reprehensible.
And mind you, this is a Republican stacked administration. They own everything, okay? Everything. Judicial, executive, legislative, all Republicans. It's great to see this shit happen in real time because now nobody can deny that MAGA is a total fucking failure of an administration. That Donald Trump, the billionaire, Nepo baby, best friends with a human trafficker, 34-time convicted felon, was never good for this fucking country.
A year ago, groceries 85%, utilities 78%, healthcare 67%, housing 66%, gasoline 54%. The bottom line is this: Americans feel like prices are rising in each and every single part of their lives, rising rising, ever climber, and they just don't feel like, Kate Baldwin, that they can catch a break.
Donald Trump is now blaming you for tariffs not working. And I'm serious. Donald Trump made a Truth Social post, and he said that consumers having to stock purchase and not just continuously going to the grocery store, that is the reason that the tariffs are not working. And once consumers do start going to the store and not being able to avoid paying the tax, that is when we will see great wealth to the country. First, it was only going to take 24 hours for the entire country to feel the effects of his tariffs. He said it was not that hard.
I know what the hell I'm doing.
Then it changed into 2 weeks. When he first got into office, he kept blaming Joe Biden. He said, I just need 2 weeks, a couple weeks, and you will start to feel it.
I know what the hell I'm doing.
Now in November, almost December, he has just resorted to blaming you for the tariffs not working.
I know what the hell I'm doing.
Well, take a look. These are all November polls. The best one of the group puts him at 14 points underwater. That's the Marquette University Law School poll, tied for the worst he's ever had in that poll. Fox, 17 points underwater. Marist, 17 points underwater. The Reuters Ipsos poll, 22 points underwater. And then taking the cake, the AP North poll, 26 points underwater. When your best poll has you still 14 points underwater, you know it's truly bad, and it's as bad as 26 points underwater. We're talking about an average well underwater with the deep blue sea, swimming with the fishes.
And MAGA hearts are crushed, okay? They just crash MAGA against the wall because the economy definitely is not doing better. The inflation is not doing absolutely any better, okay? And on the top of that, okay, our economy is actually doing worse. Farmers are screaming for help and they are not getting help. For the first time, a president of the United States didn't pay the food stamp on time. So we have a serious mess that is happening in this government that they cannot even the members of the Congress, the more show to everybody else loyal to the regime, they cannot even take it anymore. And this is the thing, when you create a cult, they had the opportunity to stand up for themselves when it was his first term, and he got the first impeachment. If the Republican Party would stand up together and say we're gonna impeach him and remove him, we wouldn't be talking about this. Donald Trump, the situation Donald Trump will be over long time ago. He wouldn't be the president right now. And we wouldn't be talking about MAGA anymore. We would be done with MAGA if they would just take him to jail, get united. But now they created a monster. They created a leader of a cult. And the cult is coming to bite them back. And they are suffering. This is the thing. Republicans, Congress people, they are having threats against their life and the life of their family member. Because when you get off to the cult, when you get off or you try to get off from a cult, it is a pushback. And they are suffering right now the pushback of getting and trying to get away from a cult. And the cult is not letting them. I believe, okay, and this is for entertainment purposes only, because I'm not sure about this. I cannot confirm this. I'm almost sure that Marjorie Taylor Greene, she have a panic attack. Someone threatened her life and she have a panic attack. And I do believe she had grandkids and everything, okay, because she's in the age that she just had grandkids and everything. Someone sent her a note that it was so life-threatening for her family, her grandkids, that she decided, I just don't going to deal with this anymore. I just cannot do it. And she doesn't have the financial resources of, like, for example, Mitt Romney have. Mitt Romney, he have to pay private security. It costs him a ton of money to keep private security for him and his family. And he had like 5 kids, 6 kids, 8 kids. I don't know how many kids he had, but he had a lot of kids. He had like 8 kids, 5 kids. I don't know. He had a ton of kids. I think it's 5. I'm not sure. I think it's 5. I had to check that out. If I can find that, I will just insert it in here. And he had to pay security for himself, his wife, and his kids. Imagine that bill. Some of these Congress members, they just don't have the money to pay that kind of money, to pay that kind of security. And they are decided, okay, I cannot deal with this anymore. I just better just leave the Congress. And I don't know if you know, but even if they are not working for the Congress anymore, they have a pension that they get paid. So they still gonna get paid. They are not in power, but they still get paid. So stay towards the end.
You never win when you play dirty. You never win when you play dirty. A federal court, 3-panel court just struck down the gerrymandered maps in Texas. Remember Greg Abbott and the Republicans was trying to get Jasmine Crockett out of her seat. You know, we got a special election down here for Sheila Jackson Lee, old seat. Subsequently, our former mayor, Sylvester Turner's old seat. They were trying to gerrymander all of that. All of that. And the court said, no, ma'am, Pam, you can't do that because you drew it on racial lines. You were trying to write black and brown folks out of their district. You were trying to dilute the voting power of black and Hispanic folks, and you can't do that.
2026 midterms are ours. Baby, a Trump-appointed judge just blocked that gerrymandering shit Texas Republicans tried to pull on us. All those goddamn seats they thought they was getting to get the House in order belongs to us.
Meanwhile, in California, the Department of Justice sued to stop the proposition map from taking effect using the exact same argument. Just like in Texas, they relied on racial data to draw the districts. So you might think if they threw out the Texas map on appeal, they might do the exact same for California. That assumption would be incorrect because there is a deep legal framework connecting the Equal Protections Clause in the 14th Amendment through the Voting Rights Act and to decades of Supreme Court precedent, including multiple landmark decisions that these justices helped decide. This framework is structured around the idea that it is illegal and constitutional to use racial data to protect minorities, but it is illegal and unconstitutional to use that same racial data to harm them. What I am saying here is that there is now a freakishly likely scenario where the Texas map fails on appeal, due in part to the fact that a Trump-appointed judge on the Texas Appeals Court said substantial evidence shows Texas racially gerrymandered the 20.
I'm going to show you, he is one of the most hardcore MAGA pollsters around. Their group, which is Rasmussen, always shows Donald Trump and Republicans doing better than they are. So if he's saying they're going to have their asses handed to them, this is really bad.
Republicans are going to lose because they don't understand politics. People under 50 don't really care about conservatism. The problem is that all of these values have basically failed America, and everybody above 50 is generally doing pretty well. Everybody under 50 can't afford a house, doesn't want to get married, the society doesn't work, the churches don't mean as much as they used to, the schools suck, like everything's falling apart. And you have the Republican Party that's just like, well, you know, they'll be fine just voting for us because nobody likes socialism. Well, we're getting to the point where people are considering socialism. And I think that this was like the last chance of the right to actually put up or shut up, and everybody's seeing that, oh, they're just going to shut up.
As of today, approximately 41 Republican members of Congress have announced that they plan to quit at the end of their term, and apparently many is expected to follow. And if you ain't already know, Republican Speaker Marjorie Greene Taylor has already resigned. She already gave them people her letter last week, which had a lot of people speculating as to what was actually going on behind closed doors in those Congress meetings. And outside of the insider trainer that they're sure to benefit from, on average, a House lawmaker makes $174,000 a year. So what you quitting for? Why all of you guys quitting? Exactly how hot is this water finna be? The one that you guys are currently boiling in. Now, I believe many of these Republicans that are announcing that they're going to be quitting is because they realize exactly what type of storm is ahead, and they want to try to get themselves out of it as fast as possible. But these Republicans are stating that the reason why they want to quit or they want to look for early retirement is because they're receiving death threats. According to an article that you can find on Axios, death threats and infighting are spurring House Republicans to contemplate whether they want to stay in Congress or even leave early. Again, according to the article, threats against lawmakers have surged, and after the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, members say that the atmosphere feels even more volatile. I mean, maybe if the congressman that we have elected into office was actually trying to help the people, they wouldn't be receiving death threats. I don't condone that type of behavior at all. However, I can understand. You guys are the lawmakers. You're supposed to be the voice of reason. You're supposed to be the ones advocating for us. And instead, you're just aligning yourself in the rooms in which you're able to take all the benefits for yourself. You could care less about the people that actually elected you into that seat. And that's the reason why some of you are starting to receive the threats that you're starting to receive, because many of us are now onto your game. You took away the people's health care. You took away the people's food. You took away the people's livelihood. You took away many people's jobs. And you keep increasing rent, insurance, everything that is needed in order to live in this country. Maybe stop doing that and see if you get a different result. I don't know. So to all of these Republicans that have announced that they're going to be leaving, you understand they're trying to leave American politics, American government, and they're trying to make it seem like the reason why is just it's a very high taxing job, and that they're drowning under pressure and whatnot, and they're now receiving violent threats. Yeah, I think it's really because you guys were being loyal to Trump, and now that loyalty is about to cost you. It's about to cost you something that you cannot afford.
So Punchbowl News is reporting that about 50 or more Republican senators are set to retire before midterms. So that's going to definitely flip the House if that happens. My thing is, why are so many people retiring now? I mean, it's been 11 months since your boss took over. This is his second term, so you knew what it was. You knew what the plans were. And now I think, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene, these senators may just be cashing out. Like I said yesterday, Marjorie Taylor Greene came in. She wasn't a millionaire, but she's leaving 25 million plus. And the rest of these senators probably in on the same thing. I'm just saying allegedly. Some of them could truly be tired of the administration. I can imagine what type of threats and things that they're dealing with. And some of them trying to switch over to Democrat. My thing is, y'all need to stay where y'all at. The goal is to make the Republican Party better. Democrats need to make the Democratic Party better. But we don't need y'all flipping the script, coming over and bringing all that treason and all that stuff to the other side. I think truly you guys need to stay and fight for your constituents, for your people, and make your party better. There ain't nothing heroic about you guys quitting. I'm pretty sure your constituents didn't vote for you to get up there and quit and lay down like that. Most of y'all afraid to go back home and have town hall meetings for a reason, and now you want to retire. But always got to follow the money. I mean, these people sat up here for 11 months or so with no pushback, nobody standing on 10, no one saying this is wrong, I believe this or that. Everyone was quiet, and now y'all ready to retire. As we say in Florida, these people done hit a lick on us, and now they're going to retire. Enjoy their pension and their millions. Anyway, it's your dog D. Pray like chef. Ain't no manual.
I think to be on the lookout for a few things, a few more resignations. And so I think what the Marjorie Taylor Greene resignation did is rip the Band-Aid off. And you've got, right now it's anonymous, House Republicans who are all saying, you know what she said, I think the same thing. You know, that she's frustrated about what the House has tackled versus what they haven't tackled. That you have, I think what you have is House Republicans don't like being seen as nothing more than an arm of the Trump White House. Even those that are the most supportive of the MAGA movement. And in fact, that's been the problem, right? The Trump White House hasn't been the tip of the spear when it comes to being America first, right? You know, yes, he's gone about this tariff protocol, but he's done it in such a haphazard way that he's actually hurt the economy, made you know, increased the price of everybody's grocery bills. So that, even though in theory that was an America first idea, right? This idea of which does go back to the 20s and 30s of a bit more U.S. protectionism, it has not helped heal this economy. If anything, it's made this economy, you know, he had inherited a healing economy, and he's actually made the economy worse, not better. So that has frustrated these House Republicans. And the Epstein files in some ways were symbolic, right? For many of these sort of post-Bush era, post-Romney era Republicans who came into this Congress. Maybe they got elected in 2016, or maybe some of them even got elected in 2014. But they're really sort of a post-Paul Ryan wing, post-House, post-Bush Republican wing of the party. These were people who came in during the Tea Party era, a bit more, and they quickly ended up in the MAGA movement, but they got there in some ways even before there was it was identified as quote unquote MAGA Republicans. And it's that generation of Republicans. They've been there now. Some of them, like I said, that got elected in 2014, they've been there 10 years. Others got elected in 16, and a few more in 20, and a handful even in 2018, even though that was a big Democratic year. And it's those Republicans that I think are the ones that I would be on the lookout for as potential retirees. And that's something that I think, because one of the interesting fallout from the Green resignation is how many other lawmakers have been telling our friends over, Jake Sherman over at Punch Bowl and others, that, hey, I've thought about resigning too. Part of it is that's what happens when you sort of see the writing on the wall. And this is where perception can become reality. If House Republicans right now think they're not going to win the majority, and the majority's not going to get reelected, a lot of them are going to seek to, if they get a job offer now, they will just take it and resign. That's clearly what this Mark Green congressman, now the former congressman from Tennessee, the special election that's coming up in just in just a week or so, he left because he got a job offer. And I think you're going to see more, House Republicans. I check your LinkedIn, right? Some of them are going to be updating their LinkedIns. They're going to be looking to see who's hiring. I'm being a little facetious, but not too much. And so I think to be on the lookout for a few things, a few more resignations. Perhaps it'll be, well, they want to spend more time with their family. We are in the season of resignations and retirements, right? The fact of the matter is, it's during family gathering time that many a member of Congress makes the decision to go or no go, right? It's a lot of times for many of these folks, family is their kitchen cabinet. They get together, Thanksgiving through Christmas and New Year's, and this is when these decisions will be made. You have a bunch of filing deadlines. Some super early ones in Texas, for instance, are now. But for the most part, most of the filing deadlines start hitting in January, February, and March. And so the next 60 days, we already have a pretty high number of retirees as it is. We're in the 40s of members of the House either retiring or trying to run for another office. I'll set the over-under at another 10 retirements. And I'm going to say another 10 House Republican retirements or resignations. I think the likelihood of 10 or more is quite high at this point. Between, say, now, even in the end of, I'll say at the end of January is what I would put this window at. So that's somewhere about the next 70, 75 days. That's worth watching. This will be the window to see. And, the closer we get to 10, or if it does end up over 10, I think the more concrete the Marjorie Taylor Greene grievances that she laid out in her resignation letter clearly were those speaking on behalf of more than just herself.
We have major breaking news. According to Axios, multiple Republicans are considering leaving early and quitting due to Donald Trump's threats. Literally, he threatened Democratic House members because they seemingly gave advice to military officials not to follow public orders. But since the death of Charlie Kirk, a lot of Republicans actually have been getting death threats, and the surge of Donald Trump's Truth Social posts that he keeps making over the government being reopened, and now he blamed some of the Republicans and called them weak. They are now saying they are getting death threats. 41 members of Congress, 41 Republicans, have announced their plans to quit at the end of their term and not try to rerun, essentially. They're fed up, they're done, they don't like receiving these threats. As you guys know, this also follows the announcement of Marjorie Taylor Greene retiring early too, because she's saying that she received death threats personally because of Donald Trump, and she was his biggest ear. Keep in mind also that most House lawmakers make around $174,000 a year, and that's just in their salary. Representative Don Bacon from Nebraska, he is seemingly so upset with Donald Trump over his 28-point peace plan doctored with Russia over Ukraine, and it's just absolutely insane. He's extremely upset with Donald Trump and plans to retire in 2027. Now, I do just want to remind you, Republicans are saying the reason that they want to retire early also is because it has become volatile after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They're reporting members of Congress are using open threats towards other members of Congress, and that's just not how they want to work and be in an environment like that. So it's looking like the majority is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and the Democrats are looking likely to hold a majority next year, and we could impeach Trump, literally.
Yo, I think we should all just start betting on whether or not the Republican Party is still going to be in the majority come the beginning of the year. Because if you ask me, they're not. So now it's being reported. Okay, so we all know that yesterday and today, MS Now, or formerly MSNBC, was reporting that Kash Patel was possibly getting fired. And I heard that from a lot of other places because I don't really trust the mainstream media anymore anyway. So the government, Trump and them, had said, oh, no, he's not getting fired. He's going to keep his job, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But now it's being reported that Kash Patel done told a reporter that the Epstein estate is refusing to hand over key files to them. And now everybody's trying to figure out, why is the Epstein estate refusing to hand over files to the FBI when they just handed over files to the oversight committee? That doesn't make sense. You want to know why? I think it is. They don't trust him. They know that he's going to go in there and start destroying evidence. And I'm pretty sure they don't trust him the same way that they don't trust that he ain't going to, the FBI and Pam Bondi and the DOJ isn't going to go in there and destroy files, because that's why they have to document everything that they take out the Epstein file. So you know what that means? That means that the Epstein estate don't even trust the FBI, the DOJ, or the government. I mean, I don't trust them either, but I mean, that's kind of crazy. But it gets even crazier because Thomas Massey was pulled in by Trump and the crew and was told to take his name off of a petition saying that he wanted to discharge information about the Jan 6 bombers. So yeah, they want him to take his name off of a petition to investigate the January 6 bombers, pipe bombers. Which is insane, because if you had nothing to do with it, why would you not want justice? Where's Marjorie Taylor Greene? We need some answers. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this tomfoolery in the comment section.
And it's exactly what I tell you. The death threats are keep on coming, and they cannot longer do this. Their wife are having panic attacks. Their kids are asking for their fathers to just don't put them through this anymore. They are suffering. And this is like a FAFO case, because some of them, they are recent members of Congress, but some of them, they've been in the Congress for a long time. And they are highly educated people. They just cannot say that they didn't know. I'm going to tell you a story. In Venezuela, the regime got started with Chavez. It was some people that was pro-Chavez. But everybody know at that time that he was a dictatorship. Okay, he wanted to install a dictatorship. And some members of the Congress, remember, I have Mercury retrograde all over me. I can hardly speak. And they told them, if you don't stand up for your rights right now, okay, we don't unite it, we don't stand up for the rights of the Congress, if we don't stand up for our rights right now, we will not be able to do anything about it after. They let it pass, and then now we have the disaster that we have over there. That was exactly what happened in here. Okay, they had the opportunity to stand up for their rights in the beginning of this regime, and they just decided to let pass. And now they are just suffering the consequences of not doing anything. And yes, the majority of them, and as it's a prediction, you can just write it down now. You can write it now, right now, in anywhere. All those members that are getting death threat, they all gonna leave Congress. They are not gonna stay in there anymore. And the Democrats are gonna have a big takeover in the middle terms election. And you can mark these words also. The takeover that we're gonna have is not with the regular Democrats. It's not with the Democrats that we're gonna have in the primaries of the Democrats Party. The younger generation is gonna take over in many of these seats. And yes, the Democrats are gonna take over Congress, but the ones that are gonna be taking over in the big majority, maybe 50%, 55%, are gonna be young people. Okay, new people. And this is gonna be so transformative for the country. Okay, I have good news for you, and I also had to tell you this, that is for entertainment purposes only, because I don't a formal investigation. So we all know that Kamala want my accent, the English being my second language, and me having a hard time to pronounce it, that name, it gets together and it doesn't do me any good. Well, we know that she won the election. She won that election. And I don't know what happened with Biden, because Biden is so a believer in a traditional democracy, whatever. This is for entertainment purposes only, because I don't have the means to investigate this. And I don't know what happened with Biden, and he just let this pass. Okay, actually, it's few studies that have been done. The areas of liberal people didn't behave in the way they always behave. Okay, so it's something here, and it's going to be possibly, we're gonna know the news and the development of this maybe in this 2026. Okay, this is have been long waiting to happen, and we just gonna know that he stole the elections. And hopefully we can just bring people to justice, and we can give justice to and have our first female president. We don't know if that's gonna happen. This is for entertainment purposes only. I cannot say this as a news, because it's something that is, I know as a fact, but I cannot compromise my channel for this. So this is for entertainment purposes only. So hopefully we can get some justice for and we can have our first female president. Please don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Help us to support liberal media, the MAGA nuts. All the subscribes, all the likes, all the comments. So help us to support liberal media, subscribe to my channel. And I just wanted to say thank you. You guys know who you are. The ones that always send me Cash App, Venmo, the ones that send me Super Tens. You guys are simply amazing. You guys are the best subscribers on the planet, and I'm just so grateful to have you as a part of my team. You guys are simply amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the bottom of my heart. I'm like a kid in the candy store. Every time that I get a Super Tens, every time that I get a Cash App, every time that I get a Venmo, I'm like, yeah! Guys, take care. Bye.